I wanted to just get started by asking where you're from.
I'm from Bolton, Ontario.
Bolton, Ontario. Awesome. Why is your name LPZ? Where does LPZ glass come from?
Comes from like my last name, which is Lepiez, and it's like the first, middle, and last letter.
Yeah.
Kind of just play on letters.
Nice. So is glass blowing full time for you right now?
It's kind of off and on. Right now, not so much. I have another job, a day job, and so glass blowing sort of like I do like 3 to 4 days a week.
Were you always artistic?
Yeah, I've always been an artistic kid.
So what kind of arts were you doing before, like drawing or like some sculptural stuff
I did
before?
an art class in high school. Painting, ceramics, bunch of stuff, sculptures.
Nice. Who are some of your shopmates that you work with?
I work with Matty Crosby down under glass, and Nathan Lister, and he's NCCL glass.
Nice. So can you tell us a little bit about how you started blowing glass?
In high school, I had a co-op, and my teacher asked me what I wanted to do, and I didn't really know. And like you said, I was, like you asked before, I was artistic in high school, so I wanted to go down that route.
Yeah.
And my mom always had glass all around the house,
Yeah.
and I wondered how it was made, and I looked it up one day, and I saw videos of glass blowing, and I asked my co-op teacher if he could get me a glass blowing placement, and he got me one at Glenn Williams Glass Studio.
Yeah.
And and then that's how I started.
Awesome. So when was that around? Like, so how long has it been exactly?
That was around 2011, 2012.
Yeah. So about like 7 years now.
Yeah.
7, 8 years. So after your co-op at Glenn Williams Glass, where did you learn to like master the craft or kind of explore more techniques and skills?
Well, after my co-op in high school, I one of the glass blowers at Glenn Williams, the main glass blower, Andy Kuntz, he was a teacher at Sheridan College for glass blowing and for their glass program, and he told me I should apply if I wanted to pursue the craft, and I did. And he kind of like got my foot in the door, and with prior glass experience at Glenn Williams, it was fairly easy for me to get in. And and then I took a 3-year program there, and first year I did a lot of soft glass work, and I did pretty much everything. And then second year I kind of knew I wanted to pursue flame working and pipe making.
Okay, nice. What inspired you to make like functional glass art for like smoking cannabis?
Pretty much just seeing a lot of the American glass blowers and like watching a lot of the documentaries on their upcoming and how they started getting into pipes, and kind of inspired me. And it was kind of like that degenerate art form, like no one was really doing it, and if you did do it, you kind of were looked down upon. Yeah. And I don't know, I was always kind of a rebel kid. And I've smoked marijuana since high school. Yeah. And for my back and medical purposes, so I don't know, I was very intrigued by the art form of pipe making.
For sure. So who were some of the artists that you looked up to when you first started blowing glass or first started smoking?
A lot. I would say like Banjo and Buck and AK, gosh, a lot of the old school guys. Seeing how they how they kind of got into it. And a lot of like the Canadian glass blowers as well, like Matt Robertson.
Yeah.
He knew one of the glass blowers at Glenn Williams, and she kind of told me about him, and that kind of like put light on Canadian pipe making and how there was some here.
Yeah.
I didn't really know that. So yeah, I wanted to get into that, the Canadian pipe making, and help the industry push forward.
Who are some artists that you currently look up to, like right now?
Honestly, like, still a lot of the OGs. I like a lot of the new guys making a lot of the flower pieces, like Jake C and Hops, Cameron Burns, like Santa Cruz Glass. Those guys making full tubes. I love how they're putting the new style of small pipes, but they're making huge pieces now.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys probably.
How would you describe your theme or kind of specialty?
I don't really have like a specialty per se. I mean, I do a bunch of stuff. Ever since I was in school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like, I didn't really want to do one thing. I wanted to broaden my horizon and try to be the jack of all trades and know how to do everything.
Yeah.
But I'd say I'm good at dot stacks. I do a lot of bowls, like slides. Me and Nate have been working on beakers and straight tubes. But yeah, I don't really have like a specialty. When
did the beakers and the straight tubes become popular for you, or like the go-to?
Maybe a year ago. Me and Nate when I first moved into the studio, Nate was doing stuff on the lathe.
Yeah.
And I never really had, been around lathe work. There was one at Sheridan, but we didn't really make full-size bongs there.
Did you make any bongs at Sheridan?
Honestly, yes. And that was it's allowed now.
Yeah.
But before, when I was there, it was still not allowed. So, it was a late night, hide it, and but yeah, me and Nate started making. We made a dot stack beaker with a dot stack base, because I was still doing dot stacks and stuff, and it was really popular, and I really liked it, and they really liked it, and we were like, oh, let's start making full-size tubes again.
Yeah.
Because I was just making rigs at the time, so yeah, then we started making just clear pieces and affordable tubes for shops.
So what are your plans with rigs? Are you still making rigs?
Yeah, I still make them, but I make them more on request. Sometimes I make them for fun, but and like if I'm making them for fun, it's gonna be like something that's like fully worked, and I'm just having fun, just putting a lot of work into the piece. But other than that, not really. I think we're sticking to flower stuff right now.
So you said you like to learn a variety of things, and you kind of want to be a jack of all trades. So when you're making a tube that you're just trying to kind of have fun making, like how often are you experimenting on that, or are you just kind of mastering?
All the time.
Something all the time experimenting?
All the time I'm experimenting, yeah. I mean, I've experimented with everything, but Lepiez, was an experiment, and I was like, oh, this is fun, it's working out. Started making lippy tubes. I started doing fume work with like inside out stuff, and that's always an experiment, because it's always chaotic, and you're kind of just trying to put the most work in, but have it clear and like, visible, and not look all, out of place. So it's fun to like get the colors to match up and try to like mix everything up.
Yeah, for sure.
Dot stacks I know, but there's different patterns all the time. So like with dot stacks as well, it's always experimenting on new patterns.
What's something that you want to try maybe experimenting next time, or something that you've had on your mind you want to try out?
I want to do some more worked tubes, having some sections in tubes. So that's going to be an experiment because me and Nate haven't done that too much. And yeah, I also want to try to play around with maybe the design of the tubes a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about being a glass blower?
Probably just a bunch of things, but make your own hours. I can work whenever I want. I have fun with it. It's always, like the experimenting. It's a fun process to play around with the glass and figure out new techniques or new things or new ways to do certain things.
We know that you collaborate with Nathan a lot, so NCCL Glass. Who are some of your other favorite artists to collaborate with?
I like collaborating with any Canadian artist, anyone who reaches out or wants to throw down on something. Like
Sure.
Krill, I used to collaborate with a lot because I lived with him. But yeah, pretty much anyone who's in the shop, I like to collaborate with because it's easy to talk with them. We're right beside each other, working together. So.
And so how different is it when you're working with somebody in the shop as opposed to sending off sections back and forth?
Honestly, I don't know because I haven't really done that. But I know it is really easy to communicate and go over a design with someone that you're right next to, and if someone doesn't like something, they can say it and you can change it up or
Yeah, and media changes, definitely.
Yeah.
Who are some people that you might be looking to collaborate with? Anybody you got a particular eye on?
Not really.
No.
Anyone who's local, I'm down to collab with.
What do you think about the glass scene right now currently in Ontario as a whole?
I think it's pretty good. There's a lot of new glass blowers, and it's good. And there's a lot of guys coming out of Sheridan and guys that have been around that are just pushing the scene, and it's dope.
What are some changes that you're seeing within the industry, especially now with like cannabis legalization?
I'm seeing a lot more flower sales. There's not so much rigs, in Canada at least. There's still a lot of Americans that are into the dab rigs and stuff, but I think here there's a lot of people just getting into the flower, and there's not so much concentrates, so it's cool because a lot of people are trying to support local glass and get a new their first piece, and there's a lot of people buying their first piece.
What's the most memorable or the favorite piece that you've ever made?
The piece I made for my dad for Father's Day, or maybe one of the Fire and Ice pieces I made.
Okay. Can you tell me about the piece you made for your dad?
Yeah, the piece I made for my dad, it was like a little scene with trees and a little figure, and it was just a little memory for my dad that he would always share with me that I kind of made into a tube.
Nice. How did you make the scene? Was it painted?
Basically, it was inside out, so I drew on. So it was stringer work drawn on with some noise and some fume, and
Can you tell me about those Fire and Ice pieces?
Yeah, the Fire and Ice pieces I made when I was probably in my last year of college, and I was always really intrigued by AKs, chaotic fire and ice pieces, and I kind of wanted to put my own twist on it and put some Incamo sections and some Lippy sections and some new style of work mixed with the old school 90s style, and yeah, it was a really popular piece, and it's still one of my favorites.
Do you have any crazy stories at a studio or with another artist?
A bunch of stories but
What's the craziest one?
I'm trying to think. The craziest story maybe might be when I was in class one time, and it was sand casting, and I was ladling big, huge scoops of glass, and I was wearing a sweater that was polyester, a mix of cotton, so it wasn't pure cotton, which is like a bad glass blowing really, so I was wearing just pure cotton.
Yeah.
And my sweater started to crinkle and melt, and then it caught fire.
Yeah.
While I had a big ladle of glass in my hand,
no.
I had to slowly put the ladle down, and then basically stop, drop, and roll to get myself off.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah.
Famous last words. In your opinion, what's the most challenging technique that you've learned to date?
Probably just clean construction of a piece, clean seals. It's always, that was always a struggle for me. Maybe dot stacks took me a long time to get down and to be even and to learn how to place the right amount of dots and whatnot. So, yeah.
What do you see for yourself in the near future for your glassblowing career?
I'm not sure. Hopefully, just get into more shops, do some maybe more worked tubes and stuff like that.
What would you recommend for glassblowers that are just starting out?
Just spend a lot of time doing it. Yeah, if you just put in the hours, it'll turn out. Ask people for advice if you don't know. Try to get someone to teach you, or go to school.
When you think of something as an idea, how long does it take you to get onto the torch and actually make it become a product that you can?
Depends. Like, I still have drawings that I've never made before.
Mm-hmm.
But some things I just, if I think something, I'll make it right away.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll see if it works.
What's your process behind getting new ideas or coming up with new designs?
Pretty much just it's any everyday things that I see that I find interesting, that I think someone else would find interesting, or yeah, it's just on the spot,
Mm-hmm. On the spot inspiration.
pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anywhere particular that you would like to travel out to and maybe blow glass there or collaborate with people there?
I'd love to go to BC. I'd love to go to the States, out west, and all over the place. I really want to go to Morocco still, and I don't particularly want to blow glass there, but I want to see people blow glass there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm Christian Lepiez, also known as LPZ Glass. Thanks again for having me, dude.
Yeah, thanks for coming by.